Hi there, it's Ricky from Moshville Times once again. I'm delighted to welcome vocalist Steve and guitarist Dan of Lancaster-based band Promethium. So how are you guys doing? How have you been during the lockdown? Are you still been able to work and everything like that?
I'm enjoying not having to spend as much time with Dan.
Yeah.
The distance is doing the band the world of good.
Brilliant. It's really, really
so much
good.
more productive without him.
I don't even know what it looks like until I saw him on the screen before.
Yeah, but the screen adds £10.
How many screens have you got on you then?
12.
So when was the last time you actually met? Are you guys lucky enough to be able to meet in the studio and stuff?
It was actually in the studio. It was the last time I saw Dan.
Yeah, it was last week, wasn't it? We had 3 days together last week.
It was beautiful because Dan didn't speak. I loved it.
Yeah, I was really quiet. No, it was
good.
We've had a couple of social distance brews in the garden.
Yeah.
Haven't we? And, a couple of other things and a couple of writing sessions, sort of like socially distanced. Then we got together last week for the first time properly in the studio just to put some stuff down. It was really, really good actually. It was sort of quite cool. It was just been a bit weird under certain circumstances where we were in a sort of separate room where normally, I'd be in the control room and we couldn't really do that. It was cool. Good.
It was brilliant because, like I said,
we had a laugh.
He wasn't there. It was great. I could do my job without him butting his head in.
So was that the first time that you were really all together since like March, or did you manage to get together during the summer?
Yeah.
Or something? Yeah.
Well, we've been doing lots of writing. We've been trying to, a lot of stuff being bounced via email or via WeTransfer. So.
That's brilliant, guys.
Yeah, we've just been doing that, just been sort of sending ideas between one another, and then we've had a couple of social distance sort of meetups sort of thing,
Yeah.
Steve end of the street, me throwing things at him and everything like that, and then and that's it. Like first week was the
Usually he's on CDs, which makes no sense because they just get damaged. And then I bring it back to him. I'm like, it was like that when I got it. Where's my dad?
But no, it's just been a bit weird really, because normally we're together like a couple of times a week usually, and it's just like can't do it. It's especially now going back in again.
I've got a funny feeling though that when you do actually get back in the studio, you still can't get anything done because you're too busy being taking the.
No, we're all right. We have an understanding. What happens is after every session we have a massive fallout, and then Steve always hugs me.
Dan gets stuck in his ways. I try something different. I say I'm right. He says he's wrong, and then he finally admits that I was right all along. That's how it goes.
I see.
Then we delete it. Yeah.
And re-record the whole thing.
Yeah, re-record.
And that was how we did Faces of War. Well, I don't like that. Let's get rid of that.
That's excellent, guys. So obviously the reason for interviewing you today is that Promethium released their 4th album, Revisions, in October 2019. But am I correct in saying then that I've heard rumours that you guys are working on a new album already? Yes.
We're doing well, we've got a new album that we're writing at the moment that's, I'd say, not far off musically done. Okay. Steve's got ideas he's chucking around, and we've got some, not concepts. I won't use that.
We are no concept albums allowed.
No concept albums. We've got some ideas, and we're doing that.
That was such a bane, doing a concept album. Never again.
Never again. But we're re-releasing, and we're supposed to have it out in November, re-releasing the first album because it's 10-year anniversary.
Yeah. We've
remixed and remastered it because it was never quite how we wanted. It's sounding great. And then we put some bonus stuff on. Yeah. So we're re-recording 3 of the old tracks with the new lineup. So we did those just before lockdown. We did the drums just before lockdown. Then when we could finally get in, then we put the guitars down. And then we started putting Steve down last week. So it sounded cool. It's sounding killer. But it's just, we wanted to, what we thought we'd do, rather than just remix and remaster, we thought we'll add some sort of bonus stuff and sort of this is where we are now sort of thing. And it's like, the songs are just, I love them.
Another level. Production-wise, another level. We're taking every time we've done a recording, we've always tried to take a step forward. And for me, it's just on a production value, we're putting more into it. There's more pre-production gone into it so that when we go in the studio, we can add more elements that we've been able to discuss. So,
yeah. I know in your discography, like in the beginning, you used to release EPs, but you haven't released an EP in a good number of years.
No, we did it. we did it. It was because when we started, we like did a couple of EPs and we did them, and it was just to get going, really.
Yeah.
And we just were like, you know what, let's just do an album. And then we had the label, and we just did the album, did that, and it was just like went from there. And the EP thing was a good thing to begin with because it was just as the internet was starting to sort of go review wise, and then you got a few reviews, you got a few stations, and it was like, okay, well, let's do an album. And that's the way we've sort of done, really, to be honest. So we've got this one, the new one, the remastered due out. We've got the new album we're working on, and then we've got some sort of other ideas, sort of things we're going to do as well. Yes. So there's a lot in the pipeline for music, especially, definitely. But,
well, since I joined, what we've started doing is we kind of have when we release a new album, we have a 2-year cycle. So we release an album and we publicise that for 2 years. But in that 2 years, while we're gigging it, we're also working on something else. So, like I said, the re-release of Welcome, and then before that, after Faces, we were straight in the studio. I think it was like a couple of months later, we were in the studio recording revisions. So we always have the next thing lined up so that whilst we're publicising one thing, we're working on another thing so that when we come to the end of that cycle, straight away we've got something else to release. It's just trying to get more regular content. It's just the way of the world now.
Yeah. It's the same with singers. We've got Steve at the moment, but we're working on our next one sort of thing. That just fell flat on its ass. That.
See, that's the thing with EPs as well. EPs can be good, but if you've written 5 songs for an EP, why not just write another 3 more and actually got an album? Look, I like albums because they've got like a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know, EPs
exactly.
Want more. You know.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Like other people I know, you can release 6 songs and call it an album.
There you go. Just write 10-minute songs and you're laughing.
10-minute songs. Yeah. Next album's just going to be a 50-minute song. That's it.
Well, Edge of Sanity done that one time. I think it was 40-odd minutes, and it worked. Crimson. I liked it. So for those that are new to the band, then, how would you say the new songs compare to revisions as well as your early material? And do you think that you've found the sound that you've been looking for with the next album?
Yeah, I think the new the ideas that we've got, it's still heavy. There's going to be a lot of melody there, but it's gone up a notch again. We're looking. I think the thing we found, the problem we had with Faces was Steve came back into the band and we just sort of went, Steve, there's the music. And so Steve never ever talked about the music because the music was done. It was just, Steve, right, let's get writing the lyrics and da-da. And this time we've gone back. How I've started the writing with Ben, our bass player.
Yeah.
Gone back, and the word that we use is we de-Dan stuff. So I come up with something and we go, yeah, but that's too much Dan, so that needs de-danning. And we've sort of got this agreement now where I came in with about 10, 12 ideas, and I was like, there we go, it's it, there we go, I've got everything. And then we sort of went, actually, no, everything we've got so far, we've got about 7 tracks so far, and we've agreed on everything going forward. Anything we've not agreed on, we're like, no, let's take it. And there's been a couple I've showed Steve, and I was sort of saying, I'm a bit unsure here about transition. It's quite interesting because Steve just went, don't do that, do this later on. And he was like, all right, okay. And you sort of think, you arsehole. You don't. And then I went back inside and I was like, yeah, he's actually right. So I'll give him that. So one of the songs that Steve's helped with, I thought he was being an arse, but he wasn't. He actually came with a good idea. So well done, Steve.
You're welcome. I think as
First musical credit.
No disrespect to previous members or anything, but Ben and Aidan, they come on with a lot more to offer technically as musicians. Like, I would not insulting the previous members, but they are very able, both on bass and on drums, which, like, if you listen to the stuff that we're working on now, if you listen, like, the first couple of albums, it's just not representative of where we're at now. If anything, like, Faces is a transition, and the next album is going to be where we're at now, because that's what we've all been saying. Like, as the current lineup, this lineup doesn't really, the previous discography doesn't represent the current lineup. There's a ferocity and an intensity and a power and in this lineup that there hasn't been before in Promethium, I don't think.
I'd compare it to Chesney Hawkes' second album.
Just even little things like an increase in tempo with the recorded versions we've done previously. Because as we've played stuff live more, we play it faster, we play it heavier. So we're recording it this time at the tempo we play it live now. So it's just got a ferocity and an intensity and a speed about it, which he's never had before.
Yeah.
So I definitely think that the new guys coming on board just taken us to another level, which
I
think we were ready to. We've never been a band to just sit around and go, let's just pump out the same album. We always want to be moving forward and evolving, which with this lineup now, we're going to. And like the next album's just going to, from anyone that's heard anything we've done before, the next album, people are just going to be like, whoa, like it's going to blow people away completely. As Dan always says, whenever we release a new album, I've been the rest of our stuff. But seriously, when you hear the next album with this lineup, we're going to bin our previous discography because it's just going to blow it all out of the water.
Apart from what we've got left in stock for selling, we're not binning that.
So Dan,
it's going to charity.
So Dan, with you being one of the longest members, then would it be fair to say then this is the happiest that you've been in a long time with the lineup then?
Yeah, it's different. We had a really good stable lineup for quite a bit, and then a couple of just issues that happened, and it was a real. Shut up, Steve. Shut up. Couple of issues. We'll leave it there. There's a couple of issues that happened, and it was a shame. Yeah. However, when it came back, and we sort of like, I won't say regroup, but new people came in, it suddenly went
new energy, didn't they?
Yeah, but then all of a sudden start recreating the brotherhood a bit. Do you know what I mean? What you had before, because obviously the thing when anyone ever goes, it's not just the fact you're losing a member, you're losing like a brother that you're with. You know, someone you're asleep with in the van. You know, someone that you're gigging.
Oh, I'm stuck.
Oh, he's frozen. He's frozen. Well, how he's
frozen. He's frozen in time. Yeah, I think I'll just pick up from where Dan was at and basically saying that, like that brotherhood, that we all have that closeness because we've been together so long. You lose that when you lose a member and you've got to rebuild it again. It's almost like feels like starting from scratch again.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So with you being the vocalist, then are you writing most of the lyrics, or are you writing all the lyrics?
Yeah, I always encourage people to contribute. So if anybody's got an idea for a song, like Rossi, the other guitarist, he likes writing lyrics a lot. So me and him collaborate on a lot of stuff. Yeah. Like there's a couple of songs on the previous album, Faces of War, that he submitted stuff for, and then me and him got our heads together and worked it all out.
Yeah,
and it came out really, really cool.
That's
like. I don't know if you've heard it, but Declaration, there's a speaky bit like after the solo that we had. It was Dan's father-in-law. We got him to do it, but that was an idea that me and Rossi had. Yeah, that he'd written, and I was like, I could see this in this section, like an old radio recording. So that came from me and Rossi. So me and Rossi have very similar ideas when it comes to lyrics and ideas for songs and stuff. And we've got already me and Rossi have got some really cool ideas for lyrical ideas and song ideas for the next album.
Oh, well, I'm looking forward to hearing it then. So where will the album be recorded, and who have you decided to produce it for you, and like where do you guys rehearse?
We've always we rehearse at Dan's. Dan's got a converted garage that's soundproofed and everything, so we always rehearse at Dan's. That's like Promethium HQ. Yeah. But we tend to record. We usually record at a place near us called the Music Co-op, but we usually get our like long-time producer is a guy called Mick Armistead.
Yeah.
And he's fantastic. Me and Mick work together really well. But I've said to Dan that for the next album, I would like to try maybe for the vocals, working with somebody else, just for fresh ideas and fresh motivation and a fresh pair of ears and a fresh pair of eyes.
Yeah,
for looking at music, but that's not settled yet. We still have to discuss that further. But that's just something I've expressed to Dan that I'd like to try just to do, because I don't want to always just be safe and do the same thing I've always done. I quite like to meet somebody new and get him to push me out my comfort zone to try something different.
Yeah. Oh, he's trying to come back. He can't.
He must be watching the big load of porn upstairs ever. Honestly.
Oh, you're still kind of jumping in and out, I think. Yeah.
Dan's now a ventriloquist. His mouth's not moving, but we can hear the words. Dan's a ventriloquist.
Oh, we'll carry on just now. See what he's saying.
You need to complain to Virgin, Dan. You need to complain to Virgin. This is not good enough.
Oh, he's downloading porn. He is. What's he doing? He's 13.
Don't pack it in.
We should be watching DVDs. I have 45 quid in Manchester. I've heard. I don't
It says here, Dan's network bandwidth is low, so it is your bandwidth that's the problem.
I know, it's him.
Well, tell him to get off the computer then.
I've just told him.
All right. He was just asking me about. He was just asking me about where we rehearse and where we record. And I was just telling him about Mick.
Yeah, I know. I heard you were going on.
Did you hear all that?
Yeah, I heard where you were going. I want to use someone different because I need to push myself.
Dad,
what he's like.
That's a bit offensive. You did look a bit, you know.
What? That's what you do, though. I need to work with someone else because I need to push myself enough.
That's a terrible impression of me.
Well, it's true. If I did an impression,
you're talking freely now. We can see you freely now. So, see, with the new songs, then were they written pretty quickly, or did you take your time with these songs? Like, for example, were some carried over from the revision sessions, or all these brand new songs?
No. All. I haven't ripped anything off. I tell you what I did. I started and I ripped quite. Right. No, I've been so good. Apart from we had no. We had our final session last week, and we've got 7 ideas that are pretty much set in stone. And I said, I've got something that's so cool, and I'm so happy with it. And I was just like playing it to Ben, and Ben was like, "This is really good, really good. What have you been listening to at the moment?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be honest, I've been listening to the new Striper album." And he was like, "You can tell." I was like, "What do you mean?" What was really bad, right, was I'm going to admit, I'm not Christian, but I like the new Striper album, all right? And I was like, all right. And he was like, "Which album is it?" And he's like, "There, I'm having our fag and brew at the end of the night." And he's like, "Is this the song?" I was like, "Yeah." Didn't realise it. So I apologise, Striper. So we're not using that track. But no, to be honest,
what was the one that Ben wrote that I said? What was the one that Ben wrote? I was like, I can't remember. Was it first song it sounded like Machine Head?
Yeah, the first song he came up, we were doing this song, it was the first song we brought to the table and Ben did, and he sent us all this recording he'd done with these drums programmed, this bass. It was like, this is different, this is cool. And then just got this call off Steve going, have you listened to Machine Head's album? Like, no, put track 4 on.
Now I lay thee down from the Black album.
I was like, that's Ben's song. It's Ben's song.
And then I said it to Ben, and Ben went, yeah, it does sound like it. But to be honest, right, in the whole time we've ever been in the band, if we ever write anything and somebody does that and says, "Oh, that sounds like," we bin it straight away. We've always done that.
Yeah.
If people say, "Oh, it reminds me of," or "it sounds like," we bin it straight away.
Yeah.
Because if it sounds like anything, we just like, well, we don't want to sound like somebody else. We want to sound like us. So it just makes writing really difficult because pretty much everything's been written. So it always sounds like something else.
Well, that leads me on to my next question then. So, like, when constructing new material with the band members having their own personal taste in music, how would you say you keep it all together? Like, for example, when negotiating what stays in and what goes out of a song?
Honestly, sometimes always for us, it's what works best in the song. The amount of times we've done a song and it gets to a point and you go, right, you're sort of thinking, well, this song doesn't need a solo, or this song doesn't need to repeat the chorus at the end, or this, and we always do what's needed of the song. So sometimes we've taken a lot. I think sometimes we've taken parts out we just don't need to have. And now I think what we're thinking about more is what more can we add to what we've already got. So like the one thing that we've done this time, which I was really happy about, is normally we've done vocals, we might have double tracked and then added some back in. And this last time when we've gone in, we've looked a lot more at the vocals in regards to the layering of them and everything like that. So that's what's taking that up a notch. But to be honest, in regards to if you want to keep or take something out in a song, it's all about the song at the end of the day. You can do it and go, this doesn't need a solo, this doesn't need, and you won't, and you just don't do it. And we're like that, to be honest.
To be honest as well, we try and do as much of that kind of thing as a unanimous thing. Like we'll all sit down and have a listen.
Yeah. And
we all give our honest feedback and go, like, for example, I think Dan played me something and I just said, "Oh, this. Like, that's just from my ear. That's what I think." And we've all got because we all abuse each other so much in day-to-day life. We've all got a pretty thick skin.
Yeah,
so we're all pretty open.
We're being tame now.
Yeah.
We'd have you in tears.
We're all pretty open with one another. So if there's something we don't like, Rossi especially, if he don't like something, he'll just tell you. And he won't pull his punches. He'll just be like, "No, that's rubbish. Don't like it."
Yeah.
Because I said to Dan, like, some of the stuff I've done vocally in the studio, I said to him, Ross is going to hate that. Like, I'll do it, but Ross is not going to like it.
I can see you all I can see you all in the studio. Like, if you listen to the song, and you must be thinking, like, would I buy that? If I listened to that in the shop, if I heard that in a shop or something, that would I buy that? And if you would,
that is 100% my thought. Like, I try to listen to stuff as if I didn't have an input in this, and this was just something I listened to on Spotify, would I like it? And if I didn't, I wouldn't like. If I wouldn't like it and I wouldn't choose to listen to it, it wouldn't go on an album. As simple as that.
Yeah.
I have to love it. I have to really be passionate about it. If I'm not, then it's not fair.
So with the new album, then, is there going to be any label interest, or are you going to release it independently, or?
I think we're so much better off on our own. Like, nowadays, in the current way, the current climate of the music industry, you're so much better off on your own. We're very lucky. I'll let Dan take over this question because he's really good at running that side of things. Go on, Dan.
Steve doesn't want to do anything.
That's not true.
Oh, is
Dan's very good at doing. Dan is very, very good at doing the managerial side of it. Managerial.
Got no choice because everyone else is shit. No, when we did Faces of War, we'd done the second album that we were with a label that just didn't work out at all. And then we just said, you know what about if we were to do it ourselves? And you know what you've got to do your own label? You've got to do sod all. We set our own label up. We've released 2 albums on it. We're going to release the next, obviously, everything else. There's distribution sorted, so it's on Amazon, it's on HMV, to buy as physical. It's everywhere you can buy it physical. It's worldwide. On the line, it's everything digital. And we do stagger digital release because, to be honest, as soon as you put it out, it's on all 3 sites straight away. So we do have a formula, and it does work. And we made more money in Faces of War than we have done of the first 2 albums. And, that we paid for the next 2 albums and videos.
That's how fortunate we are that whatever we make just goes straight back in the band. And we've never really had to pay for any studio time in the last few albums because it's just reinvested. It always goes back into itself.
Yeah.
Unless Steve has a bad day vocals, then we make him pay for it.
Dan, you seem to forget that one session where we did guitars for revisions and I watched you slowly have a breakdown.
I was tired.
Was you though? Really, was you?
I don't know. Might have been a bit pissed. I don't know. Still, I don't know.
We kind of talked a wee bit about it earlier then. With the newer guys in the band like Ben and Aidan, are they bringing fresh ideas to music in the band?
Definitely. Because Aidan's very much kind of, well, I suppose to an extent, because the previous bands that those 2 have been in, they're like a lot more from the kind of metalcore side of it, aren't they? So I think there's going to be a lot more kind of heavier, faster.
I was going to say that, bringing that element into the songs as well.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that anyway as soon as he came on board to, he tightened stuff up. He actually said, these parts are actually wrong on your songs drum-wise. This is what we need to do, which is quite cool. And he's definitely done that. The thing about Ben, what I found with this songwriting thing, Ben's very technical. Ben's like your kill switch engage, your thing, and da-da-da. When he writes, there's no time to breathe or anything. And I've sort of said to him, you know what? This riff that you've done, 10 notes, it's excellent. But if you had 6 notes in it, it would be even better. And he's now got into that sort of thing. So the writing we've done, I've been like, that's brilliant. And it's worked quite nicely. He's been like, yeah, you're right. And he does the same to me and go, no, that's not quite. So it's been quite a nice sort of songwriting partnership, really, to be honest. And then once sort of Ross comes in and sort of says that's all shit, then we start again. So
it's funny because it's true.
It's true. It's true.
The one thing I'm looking forward to with this, like the next record, is like you said, that because when I came into Faces, all the music was already recorded. So I couldn't do anything with the arrangement. So if I wanted a verse to be longer or I wanted a chorus shorter, I couldn't do that because it was literally...
And you're not going to be able to do it again now anyway.
Yes, I am. If we're writing stuff, and at least then before we go in the studio, I can say, oh, I like this bit. Can I have that bit longer or that bit shorter?
Yeah, and we'll say no. We'll say, go online, complain about it.
Or on the line, which makes
on the line.
80.
Go online.
I didn't think that. I was like, I'm not going to mention that, but in my head, I was like, how old does Dan sound? On the line.
Online. Dial up.
Dan still lives in the 80s.
I can't believe that there's never any fisticuffs in the studio, though, is there?
No, we have.
It was close.
No, we have
Visions, but it was close with Faces, definitely.
Yeah, we have. What we do, we always have. Me and Steve will always have an argument at the end of the night. We walk to the car, and I think he's going to hit me, and then he goes, "Thank you." And we have a thing, and we have a bonding session. And you get in the car and you go, "Wank."
You just.
It's what always happens.
Well, sometimes you need.
Yeah, that's what it does. Like, no, we always whenever we have an argument, it's always sorted out. That's it. You know, it's undusted. Unless he's in one of his bad moods. Yeah.
So you guys hailing from Lancaster then, how good's the Lancaster scene? And just in these times, is everything okay in terms of like venues and stuff like that? There's no closures or promoters going to the wall or anything like that? Is everything...
It's dead on its ass at the moment, really, to be honest. There's, one of the venues is shut down, so there's a couple of venues still going, but the music side, just now, there's just all that's left at the moment, just your sort of single songwriters pubbing on their own to a point, do you know what I mean?
Mic nights and stuff, really.
Yeah, that's it at the moment. And the thing about Lancaster had such an amazing thing that's going on for years, you know, it was well known throughout the 60s and 70s and 90s and early 2000s. It sort of getting back again, big style, but at the moment, no, it's getting, the one thing I noticed this week, I sent quite a few emails out to sort of mates in bands, just checking up how you're doing. And I was quite surprised, and I won't get into this because I'm the worst person to talk about it, but the mental health with regards to the bands was like, I was quite surprised actually. People, with us, it's not bothered. It's just been a case of, right, we're working on stuff, everything's cool. You know, I'd not really seen Steve properly, like, well, I'd seen him, but not been, I was going to say intimate then, but that sounds a bit dodgy, but we'd not together as much as normal. And going in the studio, we were just like as normal. It wasn't like I've not really spent time with you in 6 months. But these other bands, from a few messages, like
it was really helpful that you could send me the music that I could, like you say, I could demo stuff before I went in the studio, because that's something I've never been able. Like in the whole time I've ever recorded, I've literally what's happened in the studio has been.
You're in on Saturday, write the lyrics.
Yeah, that was the first EP we ever did, The Revenge. It literally gave me the music and went, "You're in the studio on Saturday."
So, see, with Revisions, did you manage to properly tour that, or did you have bigger plans in like the summer festivals and things like that?
We kind of did, didn't we? We did quite well with that, really, because it all started with SOS Festival. They invited us to play their acoustic stage. Yeah. And me and Dan just like we had a month, we had some time free. We
waited till last minute.
No, but we had some time after we'd finished recording Faces and released it, before we started working on revisions. We had that time, didn't we? And then they were like, and we played it, and it went down really, really well. And loads of people came up to us afterwards and was like, where do we get a copy of that? So me and Dan was like, no brainer. It was like me and you in the studio with an acoustic guitar. It cost next to nothing to make.
Yeah,
let's do it. Yeah, so we did, and it's done really, really well. And
yeah, no, it's been great.
We got a lot of gigs off the back of it and stuff. And we even like the good thing was, even though like the gigs didn't like, because they were just acoustic gigs, they weren't like massive payers. But because it's just me and Dan and acoustic guitar, it was cheaper to travel, and we sold loads of merch from it, like of other stuff, like the other CDs, the electric stuff, and T-shirts and stuff. So from a financial point of view, it was a fantastic idea, and it worked out really well for us.
Yeah,
because like I said, it just all goes in the coffers for the next release. So
I think that's Dan frozen in time again. We've only got like
or maybe he's just fallen asleep. I'm not sure. Somebody should poke him and see if he's alive.
We've only got like 6 minutes then, unfortunately. So with being the vocalist then, I've always wanted to know, like, the microphones, do you have a particular style of microphone that you use? Have you tried like so many, but there's only one that you're settled with? Or
to be honest, I have tried a couple, but for me, it's just always got to be the SM58. I use a beta because it's got a nice sweet spot in the kind of middle to higher range, which is nice for my voice. I find it works best for me. But the thing is, it's just a workhorse. It never lets you down. So I've always, since I've been in Promethium, I've always just used an SM58 beta.
Yeah.
But I do like it. It works for me.
Oh, you see, he's gone off at the wrong time. Hey, he's back.
We're talking about microphones. It's better without you.
We've only got like...
apparently he's finished. He's finished now.
Right. Did you go...
How long was that for? He's got more stamina than his dad.
Right, Dan, we've unfortunately just got over 5 minutes left, but I think that's just enough time to talk about the guitars that you're using for Promethium then. What are you using to record the material?
The only thing, just this. This is the one. This is my baby.
The only thing we're missing is Jeff Waters from Annihilator, and that's it. Everything else Annihilator but Jeff.
Yeah, this is it. This is more important than my wife.
No, he does actually say that he would sell her over his guitars.
Yeah, the funniest thing is Steve says, I don't, he says, swear to me. And I swear on my kid's life. He goes, nah, swear on your guitar. Like, you care about that more. All right.
So see how Ben is bringing the more technical side of things, like he's quite a big technical. Yeah. Have you ever thought of going from 6 to 7 strings?
That was good. No, I struggle on 6. I'm not going to do 7. I can't even get my internet sorted, so there's no way I'm going to do 7.
I don't know about you, but I always think whenever it comes to things like that, like with it, like I always think like Spinal Tap. Like, but this one's got 7. Like, just have one more. It's got 6.
It's not.
It's 7.
It's not me. I've played him quite a few times, but I just don't like it. I'm just not a fan of 6. I'm happy with. That's it.
He's not used to having something big in his hands.
Yeah, I'm not at all.
So is that the only guitar that you've got then? Well,
it's pretty much got everything that Jeff Waters has ever owned, but at 4 times the price that Jeff paid for it.
I'm up to 30 odd now, I think, or so, something like that.
So how many guitars do you take on tour with you?
2.
So if a string breaks, then you've got a backup and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's it. Normally take 2, 3 if we need to, but 2, but that's it. But it's like,
what happened at the Sheffield gig then, Dan?
That wasn't my fault.
Was it not?
It was a crap venue. It was a crap venue and a rubbish promoter.
But that was definitely not your guitar that meant you missed the first 2 songs.
That wasn't my fault. That was their electrics that blew my amp.
So what happened?
Yeah, it was their fault.
It was their fault. It was a rundown place. It was like Shameless. It was a bad gig. We don't talk about that.
We don't talk about Sheffield.
Yeah, I vary. I try and sort of change up occasionally here and there, but you get used to what you take out. That's it. I think Rossi's used the same guitar for 10 years. That's it. He makes a string. That's it. He just won't touch it. But yeah,
he had that old Jackson, didn't he, that he used to play forever? I don't know what happened to that.
He broke it at a gig and he just hasn't used it since. He smashed it. That was it. It was too big. So no, we do. I change it here and there. I've got like about 4 or 5 that I sort of do in circular.
And they all look ugly.
And that's him frozen again. All right, Dan, you still hear us, Dan?
So that ready? Yeah, I'm still here. Here.
That's excellent. Listen, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so just if people want to find out about Promethium, then where will we find you on social media?
Pretty much anything at Promethium Band. If you put that into any social media, it will come up. Yeah. Because everything's at Promethium Band, which is nice and easy to find.
That's excellent. Well, listen, guys, I can't say it's been a pleasure. No, sorry, I can say it's been a pleasure talking to you.
It's been
because I made the Iron Brew joke, isn't it?
It's been a pleasure watching Dan's screen freeze and he doesn't speak. It's beautiful. If only you could do it in real life. Just mid-sentence go.
You'll just have to watch the interview back, Dan, when we see us doing like that. But never mind.
It's all right. My wife does the same thing.
Only with you, it's like...
Right, guys, but certainly see when you get your album recorded and whatnot, like send it to us. We'll certainly get it reviewed. We'll certainly get it promoted and stuff like that. But I hope this will be the last time that we hear from you again, because I've thoroughly enjoyed the interview. It's been a good laugh.
Thank you. Thanks. You guys have always been big supporters of ours, and we massively appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries at all. So best of luck to the band, and get the new songs out quick.
Cheers.
Bye.